Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling Group on YouTube. We are going to be doing the WrestleMania Night 2 predictions video right now. If you haven't yet checked out my WrestleMania Night 1, it'll be up before this one, so go back, watch that, then come watch this one, and you'll have both nights, both full match cards, and both predictions that I've done. So, obviously WrestleMania is over 2 nights, as it has been over the last few years after the pandemic. I believe it was the pandemic year. I think it was the first one that decided to go to 2 years. Following on from obviously what New Japan do with Wrestle Kingdom over 2 nights. Whether we get better quality matches, I'm not sure, but I'm just glad I don't have to stay up for 7 hours to watch one pay-per-view anymore. The whole build-up and everything around WrestleMania for years has always been a massive part of a lot of wrestling fans. Traditions and stuff, but sometimes it's starting from with the kickoff show. Like, I think I remember staying up one year live to watch it, and the kickoff show was 2 hours long, and then the pay-per-view was 5 hours long. 7 hours all in was a bit too much in one go. So over 2 nights is probably a lot easier for a lot of people to watch now than what it was just in one go. It is a big commitment to go through, especially if there's some matches that you're not really into. You'll have a hell of a lot of toilet breaks, shall we say. Anyway, WrestleMania Night 2 is Sunday's one, so we have the confirmed match card for that. We haven't got the order yet. Obviously, it's believed Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes will be the main event. I'm pretty sure that one is actually confirmed. So I'll just go through the matches that I have listed and where they're listed on the card. I'm not too sure, but I'm going to go with what we actually have listed for Night 2. Like I say, if you haven't checked out Night 1, go and have a little look at that one. It is on my channel as well. So the first match I've got here is Brock Lesnar versus Omos. I probably would expect this, to be honest, to be quite early on the card. Brock Lesnar does tend to, if he doesn't main event, he does tend to be on first, like he was when he lost the belt to Seth Rollins a couple of years ago at WrestleMania. Really sure why this one's happening, to be honest. We're led to believe Brock Lesnar was given the chance to wrestle Bray Wyatt or Omos. So, like, Bray Wyatt with his character and his gimmick and everything else that goes into the build up to his matches and stuff, I'm not surprised, to be honest, Brock turned him down. It's not a knock on Bray Wyatt, and I don't think or believe that there'll be any issues between the two of them. I just don't see Bray as being an opponent, especially, like, say, with the character and the build up and everything that he's doing with his Uncle Howie and all that crap that he's doing right now. I just don't see how Brock Lesnar fits into that. So I do understand why he didn't go with Bray Wyatt, and I don't see there being an issue between them either. But Omos, for me, I don't get it. I don't like the fella. I'll say I don't like the fella. I don't know the fella, but I don't really understand anyone that says anything other than he's as bad as Sandam Singh in AEW, or as Great Khali was back in the day. Just a big dude that can't really do a lot. I don't get it. So hopefully for me, I just want to see Brock Lesnar squash him. I want to see a couple of suplexes, 2 or 3 F5s, pin him in about 3-4 minutes. I'd be happy with that. I'm not normally one for squash matches, but I don't see anything in the future of Omos. I tried to get behind him when he was tag teamed with AJ Styles. Like, I love AJ Styles. He's one of the best performers and wrestlers of all time over his career and every company he's been in. He's a fantastic wrestler. So I'll always keep an eye on what AJ's doing. But I don't know. I couldn't get behind him. I don't get it. He's just a big dude that doesn't do a lot. Crap. So hopefully Brock Lesnar just squashes him and gets on with it dead quick. So that's my prediction there. I don't see Omos going over because I just don't see the point. Omos shouldn't be a world champion. And Brock Lesnar shouldn't be losing to him. It's as simple as that. Brock Lesnar's your prize fighter. Why would you have him lose to Omos? I don't get it. Like, if it was Bobby Lashley, then, alright, yeah. I understand why you put Bobby Lashley over Brock Lesnar. But Omos hasn't done nowhere near enough to be facing Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania, let alone beating him. So we've got Liv Morgan and Rodriguez versus Natalya and Shotzi versus Ronda Rousey and Baszler versus Sonya and Chelsea. So it's another is it showcase tag team match to call these tag matches. They've got the men's one on night one and the women's on night two. And you know what? I've sort of fell behind a little bit on Raw and SmackDown lately, so I'm not too sure why these matches are happening. Please tell me in the comments if it's is it a number one contenders match. I'm not too sure, to be honest. For the women's tag team belts, should have really looked it up beforehand. But I've got a lot of videos to try and get through in a short space of time, so I didn't commit to it. I hold my hands up with that one. But for me, it seems a pointless match. So Liv shouldn't be in the tag division. She's had a great past year with Money in the Bank and the Women's Championship. So push on and carry on with that. You know what I mean? She could easily be a great baby face to go against a heel Rhea Ripley champion. You know what I mean? Natalia, I love Natalia. I rate her massively, and I know a lot of people don't. Fine. But she is one of my favourite women's wrestlers. I love her, but WWE never do nothing with her. They just crap on her every chance they get. She even had a farting gimmick at one point, for God's sake. You know what I mean? For me, the only right outcome is Ronda and Shayna. They're fantastic. Ronda's brilliant. Shayna's brilliant. Shayna should have been women's champion a long time ago. The dominance. Realistically, none of the other teams should even come close to these two. These should absolutely destroy these, make everyone tap out. You know what I mean? And if you want to get eyes on your women's tag champions, you've got Lita and Becky at the moment. So obviously there's a lot of interest there already. Becky's massively over. She's probably one of the most over, if not the most over women's wrestler there's ever been in WWE. And in a conversation with Lita and Trish, that's a high accomplishment. I'd probably say she is as over a women's wrestler's ever been in the company. She's massive. And obviously then you got the two legends in Lita and Trish. So I's going to be on that that six women's tag match the night previous. But obviously, like I say, you've got Lita and Becky as your tag champs. Well, who's a believable force to beat them? Ronda and Shayna, exactly where you need your tag division to be going. If you want to put everything into it, which they still want to keep these tag belts around, even though they haven't seemed to have worked so far. They are trying their best to keep pushing it. Okay, then you've got two perfect faces in Lita and Becky at the moment, so you need two perfect heels. Give us Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler. Just have them beat down on opponents after opponents until they come against Becky and Lita, and just have them annihilate them. Get Becky back into the singles division, and then have two dominant women in the tag team women's championship division. Again, it's starting to build these things up that haven't been built well over the last few years. If we're led to believe that Triple H is completely in charge, you need to start looking at things that have not worked so well previously. Like the women's tag division is a massive one. The men's tag division is a massive one too. So start putting the time and effort into these things. I think the right thing would be Ronda and Shayna to take the win. Then we move to Edge versus Finn Balor, Hell in a Cell match. I think this is going to be one of the matches of the weekend. Edge is a fantastic wrestler, absolute legend in WWE history. Such a big name. He's had some Hell in a Cell matches previously. He's done fantastic in them. He's great. He's done well, but the whole Judgment Day storyline where he was the leader, and then obviously Balor come in and took over, done really well. The only part I don't like is Dominic Mysterio. I just think it's made it go corny and cringy and a bit childish. But hopefully, if we can get Finn, get a good solid victory over Edge in the Hell in a Cell, it pushes Finn back up. I want to see Finn Balor as WWE champion at some point in the next year. Hopefully we'll separate the championships again going forward this year. We're led to believe we're getting a new championship design at some point, and we're led to believe that Triple H will be separating the championships by SummerSlam the latest. So you're going to have two belts soon. It's enough time to start pushing the talent up. Finn Balor gets a win against Edge. That's a massive accomplishment. Edge in a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. If Balor can pull off this win, absolutely brilliant. Push him into the main event. That's where he should be. It's where he needs to be we need Balor back in the main event title picture. He should have had a belt by now. You know, he was Universal Champion, the first ever one back in, what was it, 2018, 2019, something like that. He's not had a main belt since. Unfortunately, he dropped back to NXT, rebuilt himself again, and then come back and he's took over from Judgment Day. Brilliant. You know, Edge has been doing some fantastic work, making Finn Balor look strong as well. So props to him. But, you know, especially if they bring Edge doing the Brood entrance, and Finn Balor coming out as the Demon, you know, that's rumoured, you know, obviously with Edge doing the thing of, you know, bring your demon to meet my devil sort of thing, you know, the demon to return, hopefully in black and purple as well, to coincide with the Judgment Day dress code, if you like the colour code. You know, it's big on the purple, isn't it? So that'd be good. Hopefully we don't see, I don't really want to see him win via like Damian Priest getting in the cage or anything like that. You know, this would be a perfect way to end this feud now, and then the Judgment Day and Finn Balor can push on. You know, we don't need to see this continue up until Edge retires in August. You know, more than happy for this to be the blowout for the feud, and now to push on with the Judgment Day. You know, WWE haven't done too much with factions over the last few years, apart from Bloodline's been the only difference to that. So let's do it. Let's push on. Let's give Balor the win. You know, Balor's, what's Balor now, 40, 41. You know, you've got to start pushing him soon as a top guy if you're ever gonna. You know, you had faith in him a while back, so why not now? You know, and again, like say, if you're going to separate the champions, you have one champion on one show and one champion on the other. Finn Balor could easily be one of them champions. You know, he's a massive talent. He's so over with the fans. And, you know, for me, Finn Balor takes the win against Edge. It doesn't make sense to have it the other way around. Yes, it could be Edge, or we're led to believe it's going to be Edge's last WrestleMania. But, you know, him putting Finn Balor over in this match sort of completes their whole storyline then with the Judgment Day and you know, Finn Balor taking over and becoming the next thing. You know, again, I do believe this is going to be one of the matches of the weekend. I've seen a report online as well, I don't know if you've seen it, that from pictures and stuff that were taken while they're building the arena at the moment, and they're setting that the Hell in a Cell silver, the old metal structures returning. We're not having this stupid red thing, so I'll be glad about that. It could be easier on your eyes to be able to see the match, put it that way. Never been a fan of the red Hell in a Cell, so I'm glad if, you know, well, the pictures are true because we've seen them, but, you know, unless they all of a sudden fly in a red cell from somewhere, I'm glad they're getting rid of that. Such an eyesore. I think it made it hard to watch it. I think it made it hard to be able to see it visibly. So we move on again to Bianca Belair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. I'm a massive fan of both of these women. You know, Bianca's done brilliant over the last year, 2 years. Pushing on and cementing herself as a main star. You know, she's done really well. You know, she had to deal with Becky Lynch coming back and squashing her, which I didn't think was fair, to end the reign like that. But I'm glad that they give her another reign afterwards, and it wasn't just, you know, a squash match and then that's it. Your one championship reign was ended like obviously Kofi Kingston, as his was. But, you know, Bianca, brilliant. You know, she's great. A lot of young fans, especially like my daughter, loves Bianca Belair. Got her a figure for WrestleMania. You know, it's a big thing for the you know, hair. That's the thing that the kids love. They're like, oh, the one with the hair. And I'm like, yeah, Bianca. Or Belair. Just call her something other than the one with the hair. I think most of the women wrestlers have got hair. But yeah, you know, I love Bianca. I think she's great. Asuka is just unreal. I love Asuka. I think she's superb. I'm glad she's finally starting to get to show some of the stuff that we've missed since her being in Japan, you know, with the face paint and the whole, you know, quirkiness of that character and that side of her coming out. I'm glad that she's getting the chance to show that. Asuka, for me, yes, she's accomplished quite a bit in WWE, but she's never really felt like the main focus. Unfortunately, there's always sort of been a bit of a cloud over Asuka. I mean, it might just be me, but I just never feel like whenever she's been pushed, as she's never really felt like the main show the main attraction, the main star that she should be. So I'd like to see Asuka go over here. I'd like to see Asuka beat Belair. I like them to both stay face. I don't want to see one turn on the other. I just don't think that there's a need for it. I think you can have in wrestling, as you can see in other companies, you don't have to always have face and heel against each other. I want to see a nice match. I want to see them get good time. You know, they both deserve good time. You know, I don't want to see a 4 or 5 minute match. We don't need to see that, you know. I hope they get good time, good 15, 20 minutes in this match to show what they can do, because they're both talented women, both done really well. But I want to see Asuka come and take the win, and I want them to push her as a star. You know, we need all eyes on Asuka. All eyes always should be on Asuka, you know what I mean? She's a fantastic talent, one of the best women's wrestlers there's been in the last decade. But it's time when if you're going to put the belt on it, make her feel like she is the star. I want her to be the top girl. I don't want to be like, oh yeah, Asuka's women's champ, but Charlotte's shadows up here and Becky's shadows up here, and they just sort of cloud it on more who's going to face it and stuff. And you know, I don't want to see that. Like it feels like some of them do sort of keep it down a bit. I want Asuka to be up here, and I want Becky, Charlotte, Bianca, the likes of them underneath looking up like they need to get to the champ. That's the way it always should be, but it hasn't felt like that when she's been champ before. So I really want to see Asuka take the win, and I really want them to push, get behind her, and make her feel like she is the top of the top in the women's division, because she should be. And then we go on to the match I'm most looking forward to, absolutely most looking forward to. This WrestleMania weekend out of the two match cards is Gunther or Walter versus Drew versus Sheamus for the IC Championship. You know, we got Gunther versus Sheamus at Clash of the Castle, and it was one of my favourite matches last year. It was just brutal. It was just great. I loved every second of it. The chops, the punches, the back and forth. Oh my God, it went on for ages. I loved every second of it. And it felt exactly the way it should do for the IC Championship. You know, this championship has not been defended on many pay-per-views up until Gunther got it. Hasn't been defended at WrestleMania for a long while. But, you know, the IC Championship originally was the stepping stone to becoming the star. You know, everyone won the IC Championship. Everyone who won the WWF Championship was a former IC champion first. You know, your Stone Colds, your Shawn Michaels, your Triple H, the Rocks and stuff like that. They were all IC champs. It was always the stepping stone. Like, give them this belt, let them do well with it. Right, okay, they've had a good run. Now we push them up, and that's the way it always should be with a mid-card title. But it hasn't felt like that for a long while. Until Gunther got hold of it. Now, you know, he's been smashing records left, right and centre. He was fantastic in NXT UK, you know, as the NXT UK champ. I first found Walter through WCPW when he was on there a few years before he signed to WWE. That's where I first seen him. Obviously, the main reason being it was free on YouTube, and they had some guys that I was watching at the time. You know, obviously I loved Will Ospreay and stuff, so I started tuning in anyway to see the likes of them. And then I just seen, I think he was the champion at the time. I seen this guy, and I think it might have been the first match I might have seen him actually was Gunther or Walter versus Will Ospreay, and I just thought, this guy's just brutal. He's just absolutely annihilates people. And I'm glad they've kept that, you know what I mean? And like I say, that match against Sheamus last year is one of the best matches. And Drew McIntyre is a talent. I've loved him from day one. I loved him when he was back originally, and you know, he didn't have the muscle mass that he has now. And in his first run in WWE, I think the only time I haven't liked Drew McIntyre was when he was part of the 3-man band, because I just didn't get it. I didn't like it. But you know, he went away and become massive in ICW again, and you know, in Impact he became world champion and stuff like that, and then come back and he paid his dues as NXT champion, and then Raw tag team champion, and then finally gets the two big wins as WWE champ. You know, he hasn't held the IC belt now for a long while, But just adding him into the match with Gunther and Sheamus, it's just more brutal force, isn't it? You know what I mean? Can you imagine these three if they get to a point in the match and they just start chopping crap out of each other, like just stood in a circle, and then he Glasgow kisses someone? It's just going to be brutal. I hope it gets the time it deserves, which is a good 40 minutes. Like, this needs to be a good 40, 45 minutes. Brutal, brutal, brutal. This is what I want to say. I'm really, really pumped and excited about what this match can be, and I hope they just give them the time and they just make it that much better than a little bit better than what we had last year at Clash of the Castle. I'm really, really excited to see this match, and I just hope that it gets the time and it goes the way that I want it to go, which is just brutal, just carnage, just absolutely just kill the crap out of each other. That's what we want to see. I want to see by the end of it, all three of them with red raw chests. That's what we want to see. Pure brutality. Gunther's been breaking records left, right, and centre. Again, he should be someone that they start pushing towards the main event. Drew should be going back into the main event picture. Unfortunately, he's never been a WWE champion. He's never won the WWE championship with a crowd presence, which is unfortunate for him. So I'd like to see him get pushed back into the main event picture at some point too. Sheamus should always be around there or there about the main title picture. But I'm going to go with Sheamus for the win. And, I feel like he should have really won it back at Clash of the Castle, especially with it being over in the UK. And then Drew not taking the win against Roman. I feel like one of them should have really won. But I get why not. Gunther's been fantastic. And obviously it's going to lead to this match at Wrestlemania, which just could be so much better than what that was. But like Sheamus, for me, like, I've followed his career for years and I love him. I think he's a real talent, and I get he's an acquired taste. Not a lot of people I've liked some of the stuff he's done, but I've always been a fan of Sheamus. Probably the only time I wasn't probably was the first couple of months, because I took time out of WWE when he first come into WWE. So that when I come back, I think he might have been champ, and I was like, who the hell's this guy? You know what I mean? And say to him straight off, but. Sheamus is a fantastic talent, and he's always said the one championship more than anything else that he's always ever wanted since he was a kid was the Intercontinental Championship, and it's the only thing he needs now to complete being a Grand Slam champ. Give him the belt, give him it at WrestleMania, give him a moment at WrestleMania again. He hasn't had one for a little while. Let him win this belt. Then we can start pushing Gunther back into the main title pitch. And even if you've got Drew versus Sheamus for a couple of months, like, who doesn't want to see that? Them two just brutally murdering the crap out of each other. Yes, please. I watch that all day, every day. So I'm gonna like say this is another one where any of them could win and I'd be happy, to be honest. But I just personally want to see him win the belt that he's always wanted to win, and obviously compete being a Grand Slam champion. So that takes you to the main event. Now, the main event for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championships. Both belts have been held now by Roman Reigns for a ridiculous amount of time. Hopefully we can separate the belts in the future going forward, because they've been tied up for a long time in this bloodline story. I don't want to see the bloodline during this match at all. I just want to see Roman versus Cody. Cody's time is now. Like, this is the time to push Cody. I love Cody Rhodes. I loved him originally in WWE, and wasn't a fan of him in Stardust. That's not his fault. He was given a crap gimmick. Did with it what he could. When he was released and then he went to Impact, I had a little look at what he was doing in Impact, and then he went to Ring of Honor, and he went to New Japan. He became Ring of Honor World Champion, and he became NWA World Champion. He became IWGP US Champion, and then obviously he started AEW, and he done 3-time TNT Champion. He's done so much in the 7 years that he left WWE. But the main thing he did was he made himself a main event star. Like, he's a star. He's a worldwide star now. He's a known star. People know who Cody Rhodes is. They didn't 7 years ago. And he backed himself, and he done the right things. He's come out of this looking like $1 million, and this is the time. Like, they've brought him back, and I wasn't happy when he left to go to WWE, because obviously he was one of the founding fathers of AEW, and I was disappointed. I just didn't think he'd go back to WWE. And I was disappointed, and I was upset, and I was angry for a while. And wrestling can get you like that. It can. Same as football. You know what I mean? If you're that passionate about something, it can get you angry. It can get you a bit upset and stuff. But like everyone else, I didn't really watch too much of WrestleMania last year for various reasons. But one thing he did do is he made sure got up the next day and managed to forward on until Seth Rollins come out. And because it wasn't confirmed, was it, that it was going to be Cody? It was heavily rumoured, but it was never confirmed beforehand. And then when that music hit and he come out and the ovation he got was just fantastic. And it's like, and even when he returned, even though everyone knew, like no one else is going to win that Royal Rumble, it's going to be Cody. He's still got that ovation that he should get. He's a big name now, and they need to start pushing on with the next storyline, the next champion, and Cody is the next guy for me. Like I'm more than happy put belts on Cody, and I think he should be world champ. And I'd like to see him get that. Like I say, it's the same as Sheamus. He's always wanted to be the WWE champion. It's the championship that his father never held, and his brothers never held, and they never got that chance, and hopefully Cody will be the first one to be able to do that and lift it. And I think it'd be a fantastic occasion. It'd be like similar to when Daniel Bryan went against the Authority, and had to face Triple H at the beginning of WrestleMania 30, and then come out on top with both belts against Randy Orton and Batista. And similar to when obviously Kofi Mania and the whole get go there, and seeing how many years it took Kofi to get to WrestleMania and to get his moment and to become the WWE champion, something he's always wanted but never really expected to get the opportunity to do. And there's some few and far between, like real feel good moments at WrestleManias. Normally when they've had a very long career and not held the championship. Eddie Guerrero, he won the WWE Championship at No Way Out in 2004, and then obviously Chris Benoit winning the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 20, and them sharing the ring. That's another fantastic moment. Of how many years they put into the business, and they come out on top in the end. Like say them and the Daniel Bryan one, the Kofi Kingston one, and some few and far between moments that you'll always draw back to when people say some of the best moments in WrestleMania history. So I feel like Cody Rhodes, if Cody goes and beats Roman and gets the win and gets these belts, I think this is going to be another one of them real feel good moments where a lot of people will get behind. I hope they don't have Roman win, because I just don't see what's next for Roman Reigns. If Roman Reigns beats Cody, where next for Roman and then the belts? Who's he going to face? He's faced literally everyone and beaten everyone. Like the only thing you can do is give him a new opponent, and the only opponent they can really give him is Cody. So if he beats Cody, then you've booked him too strong, and you've booked him into a corner where there's no one that can then beat him. So Bloodline story needs to end. It's dragged on for a while now. It should come to a finish. Roman, by all accounts, is going to take some time off soon. So put the belt on Cody. Push him to the moon. I love Cody Rhodes, and I'm a big fan of his, and I'm really excited to see what he can do in WWE as a world champ. I was one of the people that didn't believe he'd get this chance if he went back to WWE. I thought he'd end up back in the mid card and end up lost in the shuffle. Like they've done, and that's not just slating on WWE, because they've done it for years. Like there's proof in the work they've done. I mean, you look at the talent that they released and then brought back recently, and they've done nothing with any of them. You know what I mean? They really haven't, and it's a shame, really. Some massive talent like Bronson Reed, he beat Okada, for God's sake, in Japan, and that's a massive accomplishment. And then still went back to WWE, and they've done nothing with him, which is unfortunate. But like I say, I was one of the ones that never actually thought WWE would push Cody, and I am really glad that they are. Not everyone can be a world champ. I get it. Not everyone can be a world champion. Cody's been a world champion. People that only watch WWE won't realise, Cody Rhodes has been a world champ. He was Ring of Honor world champion. He was a damn good Ring of Honor world champ. And he was the NWA world champ. Didn't hold that one for long, but he's had world championships in his accomplishments. But the WWE championship is the one that he wants, and the one that he's always worked for, and his family have worked for, and he'd be the first one to do it. So I wanted that feel good moment at the end of WrestleMania for Cody Rhodes. So I'm going to go Cody for the win, and I hope to God I'm right on that one. So that comes to the end of WrestleMania Night 2 predictions. As I've said, if you've not checked out Night 1, go and give that one a watch as well. Thank you for watching as always. Give me a like, give me a comment, let me know all your predictions the same as mine. Is there any that you don't agree with? Is there any that you do agree with? Let me know your predictions for WrestleMania Night 2. Drop it in the comments for me. Give us a subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already, and thank you for watching. As always, keep an eye out for more wrestling related content coming soon. More rankings videos, more wrestling figure unboxing videos, more predictions videos, and just general more wrestling videos coming soon. Thank you to everyone that's watched anything of mine recently. You know, I've been pulling some good views. My Cody video over the weekend got more than 200 views, which is absolutely fantastic for a video that I didn't plan on doing. I just went and did after like 2 minutes of thought. So, you know, it's my highest rated video now on my YouTube channel. So hopefully this will start pushing on and we can start getting more views. And we can start branching out and doing more things with YouTube. You know, the Facebook group's been going for a while now and it's in good hands and it's doing well. So let's push on and conquer another platform, and let's do it together in YouTube. So as always, thank you for watching and keep an eye out soon.